USS Georgia, an Ohio-class submarine, is the second vessel of the United States Navy to be named for the U.S. state of Georgia. The contract to build her was awarded to the Electric Boat Division of General Dynamics Corporation in Groton, Connecticut on the 20th of February 1976, and her keel was laid down on the 7th of April 1979. She was launched on the 6th of November 1982, sponsored by Mrs. Sheila M. Watkins, and commissioned as a fleet ballistic missile submarine on the 11th of February 1984. With Captain A. W. Cuesta commanding the blue crew and Captain M. P. Gray commanding the gold crew. This boat was later converted to a guided missile submarine for carrying guided cruise missiles instead of fleet ballistic missiles in its missile compartment. From March to April 1984, she went on her shakedown cruise and test-launched a Trident C-4 missile in the Eastern Test Range on the 7th of April 1986. In November 1984, she arrived in her home port of Bangor, Washington. In January 1985, she started her first strategic deterrence patrol as an element of Task Unit 14.7.1 from September 1983 to May 1986. She was awarded a Meritorious Unit Commendation. She was awarded her second Meritorious Unit Commendation for submarine operations between February 1986 to August 1986. On the 22nd of March 1986, 3 miles south of Midway Island, harbor tug USS Secota had just completed a personnel transfer from Georgia, picking up a submarine crewman who was going on emergency leave, when Secota lost power and got hung up on Georgia's starboard sternplane while the sub's propeller continued to turn. That sank Secota within 2 minutes. 10 people were rescued, including the Georgia crewman who had just transferred to Secota. 2 Secota crewmen trapped in her engine room were lost while Lt. CMDR John Carman, a Navy spokesman for the U.S. Pacific Fleet, told the media that the Georgia was undamaged. A report sent by the commanding officer of the Georgia indicates that after returning the surviving Secota crew members to Hawaii, Georgia underwent emergency repairs for minor damage sustained in the collision. Her gold crew was awarded the Com Subron 17 Battle Efficiency Award for 2001. On the 30th of October 2003, Georgia returned from her 65th and last deterrent patrol. On the 7th of November 2003, while Georgia was docked at Bangor, Washington, her C-4 Trident I missiles were offloaded. The process proceeded smoothly until tube number 16. When each tube was opened, a ladder was lowered into the tube so a sailor could climb down and attach a hoist to lift the missile. After attaching the hoist to the missile in tube 16, the sailor climbed out, and the crew took a break without removing the ladder. When they returned, they began to hoist the missile, pulling against the ladder and cutting a 9-inch hole in its nose cone. No radioactive material was released. 3 enlisted men in the missile handling team faced a court-martial. The Strategic Weapons Facility Pacific was immediately shut down and inspected by the Navy, and failed to pass. SWFPAC's commanding officer, Captain Keith Lyles, was relieved of command on the 19th of December 2003, followed by his executive officer, Commander Philip Jackson, weapons officer, Commander Marshall Millett, and Master Chief Petty Officer of the Command Stephen Perry. SWFPAC reopened after passing inspection under a new commanding officer on the 9th of January 2004. Georgia's crew was unaffected. Georgia was redesignated to SSGN on the 1st of March 2004. In October 2004, she participated as the command node of Exercise Silent Hammer to validate and showcase the new joint warfare and ISR capabilities. In March 2005, Georgia entered Norfolk Naval Shipyard for her scheduled engineered refueling overhaul. The SSGN conversion took place concurrently. The conversion and refitting work was completed in February 2008. After the refit, Georgia moved to her new home port in Kings Bay, Georgia. Georgia was officially welcomed home in Kings Bay, Georgia, on the 28th of March 2008 in a return-to-service ceremony attended by Governor Sonny Perdue. On August 2009, Georgia began first SSGN deployment. On January 2010, Georgia earned Squadron 16 Battle Efficiency A for 2009. Georgia Blue Crew earned Squadron 16 Engineering Red A, Navigation Red and Green N. In December 2010, a foreign material, i.e., a bolt, was left in the submarine's reduction gears. It caused $2.2 million in damage and forced the boat into 3 months of repairs. One officer and several enlisted sailors were disciplined over the mishap. On the 25th of November 2015, Georgia struck a channel buoy and subsequently grounded whilst entering the Kings Bay Naval Submarine Base. The boat was placed into drydock for inspection and repairs, which cost about $1 million. The Navy stated that the damage was limited to the exterior of the sub and the hull was not compromised. The commanding officer of the Blue Crew at the time of the accident, Captain David Adams, was relieved of duty on 4 January 2016 by Rear ADM Randy Kreitz.